Okay, we're rolling. So, day 2 of the daily vlog. Let's do this. Um, you may be wondering, why am I holding a spoon and why do I have scrubs on? So, most of you guys that don't know me, or I'm sorry, I just started this, so probably the only people that are watching this are people that do know me. And yeah, so fun fact, day job wise, I work as a exercise physiologist at a hospital working with bariatric patients. So I have my scripts on, but I am actually about to go train one of my one-on-one in-person clients and then go to the hospital to work. Today's like my full clinic day. So that's what the script's on, and I'm holding a spoon because I have my Kodiak kicks. So if you haven't had Kodiak kicks, I have the box. Why don't I just show you the box? Okay, Kodiak kicks. So these are just like pancake mix. They have other forms and iterations too, from pancakes to waffles to to-go oatmeal cups and whatnot. But something super simple that I didn't learn until honestly like over Thanksgiving time from my girlfriend is that instead of just like cooking this, if you need to like get going soon, since I am gonna go train my client here pretty soon, I just pour a bunch of it into a mug, put some water in, and just like eyeball it to see, I think this looks right, like the right consistency, and then you put it in the microwave for like 90 seconds, boom, you have like a waffle pancake thing in a mug on the go that I'm gonna go eat in the car. So that's what I'm doing. Plus, it's like extra fluffy right now, and then I'm letting it for the cool down. But I'm really proud of myself. I don't normally say that often, but I'm very glad that I made that video yesterday. And now all last night when I was like winding down in the shower thinking about what I want to talk about today, I was like almost like thinking like, do I need to have like a topic each day? Do I need to plan it? But that feels very unnatural and unorganic. And why don't I just talk about things that are actually on my mind, that's like repeated messages, repeated thoughts, since we all have millions of thoughts each day. And my thought right now, actually after reading this book, so if you didn't know, audiobook, sorry, let me back that up a little bit. If you didn't know, Spotify, the music streaming platform, if you have the premium account, if you actually have like an account, you can now listen to up to 15 hours of audiobooks per month, and I think it recycles. And so I learned of it just like 2 weeks ago, and it became a thing back in November of 23. It's now January of 24, and I listened to a whole book called Feel Good Productivity by Ali Abdaal, and it really helped reframe and reshaped a lot of the way I was thinking when it comes to productivity. And there is something that's kind of like a dark cloud that's been looming over me a little bit more lately, and I feel like this is something that many people can benefit from the insight I learned from reading this text, is that reframe your failures. And what I mean by reframing your failures is that, just to give a real life example for my situation, why I brought it up, is that I have a test coming up here, a certification test that's coming up, looking at my big ass calendar, is on Tuesday, February 6th. So that's essentially 21 days from now. I think that's the rough number. And I'm slowly freaking out more day in, day out. I actually scheduled this test 4 months ago, but with the mental workload I put on myself, and I did keep on pushing it off, and it's been 2 years since I've been in school, and so I'm getting a little rusty in some of these areas. So it's a big strength and conditioning certification. It's called the CSCS, so Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. It has its flaws. It still has a lot of merit with it. Right now, it's within the strength conditioning world as something on like a soup letter names title thing. It does bear lots of weight, and so I do want to obtain it. A, to just continue learning, and B, it's just going to be something that helps me further down my career as a strength conditioning coach and in whatever other stuff I'm doing too. But where I'm coming back to this is that I started studying at day like 28, like right after Christmas, right after New Year's, because I had so much stuff going on. And yes, that is valid, but also I didn't prioritize or manage my time to where I was dedicating time to studying and learning it and prepping myself for the test. But now I'm at the very end here. It's like a $500 test, so I could reschedule it, but it'd be like another high upper 400, 470 something. And for a minute there, I was freaking out. I was opening basically the gates of negative thoughts to enter into me and to touch my heart and touch my mind and let it to slowly erode me from the inside. And where, after I was reading the book, reframing your failures into lessons and into mainly just data points, like looking at this through a scientific lens. And I do have a very heavy science background lens too, as I did earned my master's in exercise physiology, as well as other research things I've done too. And so hearing him speak those words, sharing some of those studies, and if you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. I finished it in 4 days, and it was a very enjoyable and tangible read. But that phrase stuck out in my mind of reframing my failures, and that stuck with me. And the next thing to that is lower the stakes. And so many times that when many of us feel like we have a goal and we're not meeting it to the level of standard or expectation that we arbitrarily placed on ourselves, we can really feel the full weight of it, the boot on our throat. And yes, the past is the past. I could have managed my time a little better, could have sprinkled in 5-10 minutes here and there, but it is what it is. The past is the past. And so what can I do now? So yes, I've been intentionally and like diligently studying leading up into it as much as I can. And luckily I do have a strong background in both the practical and the scientific portions of it. And so I am going in this not just completely blind, and just the thought of having to pay again, and it's the vulnerability here of like, this is not my first time taking it. The first time I took it was actually after my master's program, like a month afterwards. I signed up, I took it, and I went in it with the arrogance of like, oh, I just got a master's degree, I'm going to be fine. When even though the test is the test, the information, they want you to learn what's in the textbook to take the test. It doesn't matter what the newest current knowledge is, but since the test, I think, hasn't been updated in 5, 7, 8 years, and I finished school like 2 years ago, and some things have been updated, like some of the nutrition informations and things like that. I can just think at the top of my head right now. But so it's the vulnerability part of like, man, do I have to take it a third time? Because I do associate myself with it as a bad test taker, and there is a lot of negative emotions with that, and it does weigh pretty heavy on me. But reframing this failure, it's like, hey, do the best you can now. Put in the work day in, day out. You know you weren't just wasting times those other 3 months, because I was intentionally working, building my business, etc. And I'm going to take the test the best I can. And the thing is, the world's not going to end, because there was like another rule of like the 10-10-10 rule that he shared in the book. It's like, okay, after you fail the test, hypothetically in that situation, in 10 minutes, what's the worst thing that can happen? Okay, I'm gonna feel like crap for a little bit and wallow my self-pity for like 10 minutes. Okay, what's gonna happen 10 weeks from then? Is it really gonna change and impact my life? No, it's not gonna do anything. Everything still stays the same, and that's not a bad thing. 10 years from then, is it terrible? No, I'm not even going to remember it. It's going to be something so insignificant, and who says I can't take it again? And so that leads to the next reframing of you can just lower the stakes of like, it's not that heavy. It's not world crushing everything. You just got to pay and take it again. No one's making me take this test. It's just I'm doing it on my own accord, and it's good that I'm paying money out of my own pocket to continue my education, to be more credible, to be more educational, and to then I can serve my clients in the future. And so that's the repeated message I want to share with you guys, is that your failures are not just failures. Just reframe them and then learn from the lessons. Look at it as through a scientific lens of as data points of like what worked, what didn't work, why is this not working. See how you can iterate it from there, almost from like an R&D, research and development perspective of like prototypes, iterating the product, things like that, and then just lowering the stakes of like, is this really that soul crushing? Does this warrant that level of stress and magnitude to where it needs to like crush you internally and seep into every other aspect of your life? And he goes, it's like you don't want to have a bad day. And that's the other thing that I was thinking about in the shower I just had like 20 minutes ago, is that there's no bad days. It's only my own perspective of how I am interpreting the world, my feelings and stuff that day. If I want to have that negative mindset and attitude, then I'm going to have a crappy day. And so I don't have to let this ruin my day. I can take it what it is and just do the best I can and be proud of the efforts I'm putting in, and then give it a go another day. Like, see what's gonna give me the most peace. Like, be realistic with what I can do each day, is what's gonna give me the most peace today so I can do it, to study. And this type of lesson, reframing your failures and lowering the stakes, can apply to fitness, nutrition, whatever other goals, behaviors, habits, and skills that you are trying to acquire, build, and nourish. Yeah, just want to leave you with that. Day 2 of the vlog. We're doing this. We're doing this. No bad day.